Well, guys, thanks for tuning in once again. This is Jamie here with HHS Boys. Luke is not behind the camera. He's out tonight, and we're taking a few nights off from the woods, from our stands, from coyote hunting. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to come into the hunting room tonight and answer a lot of you guys' questions that we get on our comment section and all the social media outlets, our Instagram and our Facebook page, and just everywhere you guys are hitting us up at. So I tried to answer as much as I could through those outlets, but tonight I just felt like it's a great time to sit down while we're not hunting and it's freezing cold outside here in the central North Carolina. So we're going to go through a few things tonight about our setup, because we get so many questions about our setup. So once again, I'm Jamie. Luke's not with me. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, we're growing like crazy. Our views on our episodes are just blowing up, and man, we appreciate you guys for watching our content we're putting out. We're trying to put out the best content for some great episodes so you guys can learn better about killing some coyotes, because that's one of the most important things, is starting out. Because a lot of times when we start out coyote hunting, we're not quite sure how to do it, and that's with anything in life. And so you make mistakes after mistake after mistake, and it's trial and error. And when you do that, there's a learning curve, and then we can learn from those mistakes. But the unfortunate part is, when we're coyote hunting, when we make mistake after mistake in these learning curves, we are educating coyotes, and you're going to lose good ground, good properties, or good places to hunt. So I don't mind coming on here, using our YouTube channel to help you guys out, to learn. Because if I can help the guys around my community in our area learn better and not educate these coyotes as much, just like we all did trying out, and give somebody a little training tips, some tactics that'll help them out, man, let's do it, because it's going to make it better for everybody. So if you're not doing that to an up and coming coyote hunter just because you want to be able to hunt more property, man, shame on you. I know I feel the pressure too, especially this time of year when deer season's over everywhere, just about everywhere, and people are wanting to still shoot, still hunt, and coyotes are the most acceptable thing right now going, and it's awesome. So this is going to hopefully help you guys out tonight, excuse me, and get you on the right track if you're not. So it's going to deal with all about our equipment. We've done an episode about setups and call sequences before. So if you need to go back and check that out, go on there. It's on our previous episode somewhere. Just scroll down through our episodes and you'll find it. But we're going to do most of the night with just equipment. So to start things off with, one of the most important questions we get is, what kind of guns are we running? What kind of guns are we using? Well, you can use just about any gun you got. Any gun from, you've all heard this, you've seen it on all these forums and all these social media outlets, from a 22 up to a 300 Magnum. Well, whatever you got to start out with it, if that's what you got, okay? You can afford it, and you can really focus on killing coyotes with a good varmint round, anywhere from a 204 to, these guys are now running 6.5s. So somewhere in between that range is probably where you want to be. I don't want to be at the 6.5 myself, and I don't want to be below a 223 myself. So that's where we like to be. Of course, we all started out where we had to, and I started out with a straight 203 and just did what I could until I wanted to build some guns. Okay, so our first gun that we actually built was the 22 Nosler here. We built it, I guess, the year after it came out, I think around 16, 17. And this is an Alex Pro. It's I think it's a 22 or 20-inch barrel, stainless steel. Of course, it's an AR. I'm not even quite sure what that upper is. Don't have. I think it's a Palmetto made down in South Carolina, which I think Mitch moved to Florida. Don't quote me on that, but I'm not having any trouble with it. Luke's got a little fancy grip on here, and a beautiful flat front trigger that is just amazing. Okay, that was the first gun that we built. We started out, and we've always ran Pulsars exclusively. So we topped our guns with a Pulsar, an XP50 Trail when we started out. And Man, we we went through some things with it, trying to figure out the first few hunts exactly how to run the thing. But you know, like I said, it's a training curve, so this will probably help you out. And this gun right here, as the old saying goes, it's killed more coyotes than parvo. But that's been our main running gun. Luke loves it. He don't want to hunt with nothing else. I've offered to build him a bolt, but I sort of like having the AR for the quick backup shots when you need them, and so that works out perfect for us. But the flat front trigger, the stainless steel barrel there, and so with it being the nozzler, we went and tried the nozzler ammo. And I suggest when you purchase a gun or build a gun, build your gun and then use several different rounds to try to match that barrel to that round, to that grain as best you can. Okay, if you can afford to do so. So we found that the 62 grain hollow point nozzler round was the best. I run 77s for a while, and I was getting too much of a pass through with that heavier grain, and it would come out about a fit size of a 50-cent piece. And when you get pass throughs with a coyote, they're going to run. Reason being is you didn't get all the impact and the force sustained inside the coyote. It went straight through him. That's why I'm not a real big fan of larger calibers or larger grains. You use a larger caliber like a 6.5 Creedmoor if you want and if you like, but I would suggest staying with a lighter grain or you're going to have pass-throughs. And those pass-throughs, you're going to get some coyotes that's going to run on you. They're going to run dead, but they're going to run. I want my coyote to drop right there. So with the 62 grain hollow point nozzler round, it's not exiting. So all that force, all that inertia is going right in, all that energy is going right into the coyote, and it's blowing him up, okay? And he's dropping right there. We don't, very seldom do we get a runner, even with the 22 nozzler, okay? It does well. So over time, when the the Thermions came out, we started running those, and we switched to the Thermion Pro. I bought the first one was a Thermion I ran it, just a regular XP50. And then we switched to the Pro, and they are lights out. The XP50 Pros, I think, has a little bit longer battery life. The sticks last real good. It's a little bit longer battery life. And of course the clarity is much more, both being 640 core, but it's a little bit better upgraded scope than the regular Thermion XP50 to the XP50 Pro. And we really, really enjoy running that unit. The only drawback is on that unit is that the audio recording is just too strong. It's strong. If you touch anything on here, you're going to hear it. You can even hear the rotation of your head, which is okay, because a lot of times I want to pick up everything around us too, such as coyotes responding back or Luke and I communicating, and it does a great job for that. So I'm not really knocking that. That's a pretty good feature. But some guys do like to complain, it's too loud, it's too loud. Hey, I'd rather be too loud than too low, okay? Once again, that's probably our best gun we've had to date, and we're still running. Of course, she needs a good bath right now. She's awful dirty. You see her sitting on an RRS anvil head. When we started out, we were running the Faisal, I think it was the Faisal, I can't remember, ball heads, and run it for a long, long time until we upgraded to the anvil heads. And the reason why we went from the ball heads to the anvil heads, one is you just got one lever up front if you're familiar with an anvil head, and you can quickly set that, lock in, and get your shot off versus having to turn both of your knobs on your ball heads, your oscillating head and your rotation head, and it seems to be a little quicker. So if you're in the market for one, I would suggest going with the anvil heads right off the bat if you can afford it. I think they're about both the same price point. Of course, he's still running his Faisal carbon fiber tripod, and they're a little worn. The bottoms are gone. Some of the Titan fasteners are a little jacked up, but hey, it still works. And them being the price point they are, I'm going to use them until I have to buy something else. But that's the setup for the 22 nozzler. There it is. Okay, the gun that I shoot and carry 195% of the time is right here to my left. This is my baby. These guns are customized from top to bottom. It is a Proof Research 24-inch stainless steel barrel. She's Cerakoted black, and it's run by a Savage Action, a Savage 10, Model 10 Action. Zero problems with it. We have the Savage Accu trigger, which took me a little bit to get used to. If you're used to just getting on there and pulling the trigger back, this ain't the trigger for you. But it makes you a much better shot if you get used to it and try it out. Pull that slack out of the Accu trigger and just then squeeze slowly and let that fire really scare you when it goes off when you're on target and you're going to be dead center or wherever you're aiming. We're running an MTD chassis, the XL chassis. I love it. It's had zero problems with it. It's sturdy as it can be. And of course, we're topped it also with the XP50 Pro, also just like on the Nosler. No problems at all. Real quick, I'll give a shout out to Thermal Optics Plus. We bought all of our thermal gear and tripods and heads from Thermal Optics Plus. Good friend of ours, Cameron Gonner. He's never let us down. He's always helped us out, been real good to us. Never had a trouble getting anything or sending anything back or getting something as quick as possible. So, Cameron, we appreciate that. And I suggest them if you're anywhere in our area or can get a hold of them online. The ammo in here, the gun is built by myself and a good friend of mine, Ronnie. We teamed up and put it together, and just the way we wanted it. And then we, like I said, we'll take a few rounds, a few different grains, go out and try to match the barrel as best as we possibly can. And we came up with the 75 grain VMAX, and I can't even remember the powder, so I wrote it down. It's the Hodgin H4895 powder, and she is pushing out there. So that's your 6mm Creedmoor, not to be confused with the 6.5 Creedmoor. And that's only a 75 grain, so that's a souped up gun. Now I like to, if I can see them, I'm gonna shoot at them most of the times within range. We have no problems or no fear shooting at 400 yards, which we have done it. The Nosler confirmed at least 2 kills and many kills over 300 to 350 with the 22 Nosler. And same likewise here with the 6mm Creedmoor. Now I'm like you guys, I like to call them in as close as we possibly can. That way we got a larger target, less margin of error, and make a good shot. So that 75 grain is wonderful. I don't think you need to get much more higher than that. Like I say, you're gonna get those big pass-throughs. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, not to knock nobody. I got some good friends that shoot 6.5s. And like I said, if it were me, I would choose to shoot a lighter grain. Reason being is here in central North Carolina and eastward of here and southward of here, we don't got a whole lot of hills. There's definitely no mountains. We got some ridges, okay? Little hills and ridges, but we have no mountains. So when we're shooting, that bullet's gonna go a long way. And I wanna know what's behind me to be safe, okay? And if you're shooting like we love to hunt around cow pastures and chicken farms and such as, and if you getting a big grain bullet and it's passing through, you don't know where that thing's going when it goes through your coyote. You know, you might think you know, but it could veer left or right, up or down. And so I'm just a proponent of shooting a lighter grain and letting that impact take its devastation on the coyote rather than going through and you're taking chances on just a big old grain bullet just splitting a coyote in half. And definitely not gonna get a runner that way, but you have nothing left. I'm seeing videos now of these 6.5s with these big grains and they're shooting these coyotes and they're just blowing the smithereens. You ain't got even nothing to go out there and pick up and look at. A little bit of, that's about equivalent of shooting a deer with a 338 Lapua. So, I mean, if that's what it is for you, I'm not knocking you, go at it. I just choose rather have a lighter grain, be a little bit safer, shoot flatter. And I'm seeing a lot of these guys when they shoot those larger grain bullets, they're not accounting so much for that rise in the bullet, and they're shooting over top of some of them even at 100 to 150 because that thing's rising so much so quickly. You know, I'm no ballistics expert, but there's a reason being there. So I think we would be better off if we stayed at a lower grain. That's just my cup of tea, my opinion. So you know what that means to everybody else. All right. So she's also sitting on an anvil head. Love it. Love it. Quick assessment. Just lock it down. You're good to go shooting just like you're on a Coleman lead sled. Love it to death. The only drawback is if you're not running a scanner, handheld monocular or some kind of scanner, and you like to scan left or right, when you're sitting on a ball head, you can tighten your oscillation down and just run your left to right rotation and swing back and forth. But with an anvil head, she's doing everything. So it's kind of harder to do. So if you're not running a scanner, you might want to stay away from the anvil until you pick up a scanner first. Just a little food for thought right there for you. And we're sitting on RRS, also carbon fiber legs tripod. And they get a little bit taller for me because I'm 6 foot. Oh, God. And one of the comments we get a lot is, tell that boy to catch his breath. Well, there's a reason for that. I've been a professional bodybuilder now for 1.5 years, and I'm in bulking season, if you will. So about half of the year we're gaining weight. I'll get up to 290, 300 pounds, and then when we cut down for a competition, we'll get down to about 260. So you'll see me sometimes a little heavier and sometimes a little lighter. So when I'm a little heavier, I'm trying to catch my breath, guys. So bear with me. It's true. Luke's telling me all the time before we do an interview or something, Dad, catch your breath, catch your breath. But that's why. So anyway, this one here will get up a little bit higher for me, being about a little over 6 foot, and it works really well. Let's see. Went over the bullets. Yep, went over all that. And you'll see right here that all three of our rifles are suppressed by Silencer Co. hybrids. When we first started out, didn't have them. And man, you will blow some eardrums out. If you're just hunting like we are with your partner or whatnot, you got to be real paying close attention when you turn left or right. One, not to shoot somebody in the shoulder, and then that sound inertia coming out of that barrel blow somebody's eardrums out. So I don't even want anybody to hunt with me anymore if you don't have a suppressor. So once you've had one, you know what I'm talking about. So if you don't have one, they're much easier to get today than it was when we had to buy ours, waiting 10 to 12 months. You can get them within just 2 or 3 days nowadays. So Silencer Co. hybrids is what we run. You can run these down from, I think, 45 caliber down to 22. So yeah, we lose a little bit of decibels, a little bit of suppression sound by running the hybrid, but they're still low enough for us. And they're really good because a lot of times you go get an extra shot that you didn't get without one with incoming coyotes and such as, and giving your hunting location away. So another food for thought. That's our rifles that we run. And then when Grant's with us, the third part of the HHS, or another friend that may come hunting with us, we have a 223 Wild. This was a 23-inch barrel. I think it's also a X caliber. I can't even remember. I don't hardly ever run this gun. It is a, can't even read my, X caliber, correct. It is a 23-inch made by Crown Ridge X caliber barrel. And I think it's shooting 60 grain VMAX, correct. That is 60 grain VMAX is in it. It has also a, what trigger is it? It's run by a Remington 700 action. So if you want to build your own rifle, all you need is an action, whether it be a Savage 10, I wouldn't go under that, or a Remington 700 action, and then you can buy you a rifle from one of these barrel companies and a chassis or what kind of stock you might want and build your own rifle, and then match and hand load your ammo to that and be much more accurate than you would from out of a box gun, out of a box ammo, which is still good, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but if you want to take it a little bit to the next level, that's the route I would go. That is a 70 grain, that is a 60 grain VMAX. And that's what the Hodgin CFE 223 powder on that one there. She's also topped with a Thermion XP50. That's not the Pro, that's the initial one that we started out with. And so I stuck it on there, okay? Once again, MTD chassis also, and the Silencer Co. hybrid. This one is still running the Faisal ball head that we started out with when we first started, and the Faisal carbon fiber tripod. Okay, that's our gun setup, and that's normally what we take. I have had other guns, such as an AR-10 243. I still got a 223 in the closet. We've moved some of those around, and we could use older or newer guns too, but this is the ones we carry 99.9% of the time. All right. I was talking about thermions and our optics. So once again, that's our XP50 scope. Started out with the XP50 trails, 2 of those, and then I bought the Helion XP50, which we still run. Whoever's running this rig, this XP50 trail, it still works good with the big block batteries. I upgraded a couple years ago when it came out to the Telos XP50. And you say, well, you can save some money and run a smaller monocular, smaller scanner. Well, we did when I put Luke on this one, and it's a I think it's a 38 millimeter or whatever, the Axion, yeah, XM 300 or something like that. But Luke does real well with his scanner. My eyes, you get 52, 50s, it get a little better. So I want to run the XP50, and the clarity is just as good as, of course, your scope. And I wanted my eye to go from this to my scope and not have to change. So that really helps me out. So if you can afford to do that, and that's the route you can take, I would go ahead and go with an XP50, the upgraded scanner to match your scope, and it really helps you when it's detecting and then getting on it with your scope. Luke does well with his, don't get me wrong. He can detect just as much as I can. Identifying, sometimes he has to get me to help him out a little bit when it's far away distance. Up close, he has zero problems with that, zero problems. So whichever scanner you want to run. And a lot of guys match companies when it comes, and that's cool. Whatever you buy, whatever you can afford, whatever you can find. Like I said, Cameron Garner done us a good job from Thermal Optics Plus, and I just sort of went with him, and always had great success there with those products. Call wise, always ran Fox Pros. My good buddy Ronnie from Shelby, he started out with a Lucky Duck. He calls in and kills just as many coyotes as we do. And I know a lot of guys run Lucky Duck too. And old Rich Paulette sounds are pretty good. And their system is with SD cards, and you can run different sound files through those cards and run them right into the Lucky Duck. Unfortunately, with the Fox Pros, they're all downloadable. I think they are. I don't think you ever run SD cards with Fox Pros. I haven't. Just download to your computer, and you can buy whatever sound files from whomever manufacturers you like, whether it be Tony Tebby, Predator Tactics, Heath Baker, and of course MFK. And so with all those, and then you got the Boss, you got IoTech, you got all these different manufacturers. Whoever you like, and you're accustomed to, man, go for it. I'm not knocking anybody. The sound's a sound. If you can make it work, make it work. Really, I'm partial to the sound of the original unit that I had was the Fox Pro CS24, the old original horn looking one. A little bit hard to carry, being it didn't have a cool handle and the battery was exposed externally. It always got caught and tore the wires up, but the sound was premium. And now the X24 is no knock, don't get me wrong, but to me, my ears, and I think I did a little bit more success calling coyotes with the CS24 than I have with the X24. It's real close, don't get me wrong. That's the only thing I have concerned about. When you get to the top end of the volume, the X24s seem to get just a tad distorted, where the CS24 seem to hold it. And I'm gonna try to find me another CS24 to continue running and just compare the two. But like I say, no knock on the X24. I've done well with it. I just don't run. I used to run 40, 39, 40 top volume all the time. I have backed it down to about 30 to 35 here to keep that little bit of distortion out, because if I can hear it, I'm pretty sure a coyote can hear it. That's my take on it. So I have 2 units. I got an older one. Let me grab it right over here. The reason why I don't have my CS24 any longer was out one night hunting, and of course got all jacked up, killed a double and left and forgot to call. Went back to go find it, and guess what? We ran over it. So no more CS24. And I was telling the story that night to my good buddy, And while he was on the phone, I had no recollection of it. And all of a sudden he goes, Wednesday, you'll have your call. I said, what are you talking about? While we were on the phone, my brother from another mother, Ronnie Jones, had my first ever X24 mailed to me. That's what good friends are for, eh? And I've repaid that debt, hopefully, with him and our friendship. Of course, you get all the Fox Pro sounds. And with this one, I downloaded a lot of Tony Tebby sounds, a lot of Heath Baker sounds, and Predator Tactics sounds. And you can tell how well I've hunted with it. One of the legs off, lost connections to the back, but she still works. And every once in a while, I feel like I want to try a different sound at a different place I've been going to a while. Guess what? I'll pull it out. Got it in your arsenal, use it. Keep it in the truck. If they get used to a certain sounds that you're going to, man, switch them up. So we'll do just that. But on the new X24 we picked up, I've got the couple packages from MFK, and of course the Fox Pro sounds. And we've been doing awesome with it. We've been doing real awesome with it, keeping some coyotes coming in. I love the battery usage in those, and whatever unit you're running, and you like it, hey, stick with it. I like this. Is why I hadn't changed the Lucky Duck. It hadn't let me down. Battery wise, I can hunt probably 3 to 5 hunts before I have to recharge it. Now, a lot of times I'll charge it after 2, but I know I've hunted at least 4 nights with no charge on it, and she's kept up just as good. And the batteries in the controller always seem to do well, and so always keep some in my pack to make sure we can keep going. Which brings me to my chest pack. And we've been in cahoots with Reese Lanyards, Reese Outdoor, for a little over a year now. And he's real good to us about letting us drop ship to you guys out there. You just shoot me your address on one of our social media outlets or on a comment, and I can have you a chest pack of your choice mailed right to your door and save you a few bucks. Now, I can't save you 40, 50 bucks, but if you enjoy our episodes and you enjoy our truth and our training and our educational episodes, man, that helps us keep going. So if you would oblige us and let us send it to you, we make just a few bucks, and that helps us keep the gas in the Suburban out there, because she likes to drink it. Because when we go hunting, we might drive 80 to 100 miles a night. We going. So chest pack right here. Very awesome. And I'm, like I say, I don't know, I hadn't measured my shoulders in a while, but well over 50 some inches. And these things stretch around me and do well. I have to have some help putting it on sometimes, Luke, don't we? But we make it happen. So with this, when I wear mine, of course, you've seen me out hunting, watch our episodes. These are tethered right now. We've been hunting so hard. We've had some mishaps with tethers coming loose. I got to tighten everything up before we go again and retie those back on here, because when you're hunting, trust me, you're going to drop this, you're going to lean over, and it's going to fall in water, mud, or rocks. You don't want to break it. So if you got it tethered, drop it in, you're good to go. Same thing with your collar. When I'm hunting with my collar, I got it tethered. Sometimes I don't want to stick it back in here because that's a lot of movement. And so I'll just let it hang right here while I'm getting ready to shoot, because a lot of times what you don't see on our hunting film, on our episode, is I'm working this call. And you'll get to where you can work this call without looking at it, muting it, going back and forth to sounds, voluming up and down. And man, I'm doing that left and right. I'm wearing the buttons off this thing all night long. I promise you I am. So I keep it tethered on the left side and I drop it in. So when a coyote comes in, I drop my scanner in where it ain't banging on the legs, and I get on my scope. And then the only thing you have to worry about with these boogers is that faceplate lit up. And if a coyote gets close enough, he can see that thing shining if it's sitting down there spinning. So I try to always turn it toward my leg like that, in hopes that it don't spin around and alert the coyote of a flashing light over here. So, but sometimes I'm sure it's happened. But if I throw it in here and I need to turn the call back on or turn the volume up or down or mute it, it's in here. I don't want to be doing all that moving. So I'll just leave it like this. I can just reach down and pick it up and I hit it with my thumb. Okay. Of course, with your front pocket here, I keep extra batteries and extra ammo and whatever else you might need, a knife such as. And in the back here, always keep your pistol back here for kill shots if you need it, or for protection or whatever might happen. And I suggest if you don't have one, get one, but don't get the biggest pistol you got. Even though I'm 280, 285, 6 foot, a heavy pistol right here with the weight of this bag and stuff in it already, it's gonna get heavy on you. So get you a light pistol, something real light, stick back there, and you'll be a little bit better off. All right, so other than that, that is the gear that we use, that we take with us every single night. And of course, you know, I like to carry a thermos of coffee, plenty of water, a couple of Cokes. We know we're going to be out, and then some snacks, whatnot. I always do this also, carry an extra change of clothes with you, an extra coat, an extra shirt. You never know if you get wet or get sweaty and you want to switch out, keep your night good and comfortable. Throw that in your truck also. You know, just stuff like that. Think about what you might need, what might happen, and such as that right there. A good pair of boots, man. We just picked up some boots from a company called Carolina. Great insulation, but we don't want too much insulation, right? You want just enough. It's got a zip up to help my big self bend over there and get it on, and a lace up, and they fit like tennis shoes, like gym shoes. And that's important when you're hunting, is walking and standing as much as we are coyote hunting, right guys? So whatever boots you like to run, I suggest Carolinas if you can find them online, or a store that carries them. I compared them to Rockies, and I thought they blew the Rockies out when it comes to comfortability. So I enjoyed that. All right, now, if you have any other questions or any other comments about this episode or something maybe I missed, I think I covered everything. Guns, ammo, suppressors, calls. Oh, merchandise. You see I'm wearing one of my shirts. Let me grab a hat real quick. We still have quite a few of these left. We got the black, and we also have the brown and khaki left. We got a few shirts left. If you'd like to pick up one of these, man, I can ship it right to you. The hats are $27. That'll include your shipping, and I can ship it right to your house. Like I said, we got the khaki and brown and the black. The black's got more of a flatter bill. This is more of the trucker style hats here with a little bit bend of the bill. We got some brown shirts, and we got these black shirts. A few of them left. We're gonna be ordering more of those. Also, I'm ordering some zip-up jackets and some t-shirts. Just regular cotton tees also, if you'd like to pick up one of those. And anything you can do to help us out, guys, we certainly appreciate it. I'm Jamie. Luke's normally behind the camera, but it's just me tonight here doing this segment. So we're HHS Boys. We appreciate you again. Once again, if you have not, please subscribe with us, share it, send a comment, and hit that bell notification. We'll keep out putting as much content as we possibly can. Once again, Jamie, HHS Boys, we're out. Thanks a lot.